Hey y'all, welcome back to CollegeVine's weekly Q&A. My name's Katie, and each week I spend some time answering the questions that you've submitted via YouTube and via our website in order to help you get a better understanding of different admissions topics. If you'd like to submit a question for us to answer on a future Q&A, you can leave that question in the comments below this video. And while you're at it, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're one of the first to see our latest college admissions and test prep tips video. Let's get started with today's 4 questions. To start us off, Felix asks, how does the NAIA compare against D2 and D3? Well, for those of you who are interested in being a student athlete in college, this might be a helpful question to listen to. Let's break down the differences between the conferences that Felix mentions. First, let's describe the NCAA. The NCAA, which is the National Collegiate Athletic Association, is a nonprofit, member-led organization that provides college-level athletics for more than 52,000 athletes across 24 sports in 3 divisions. The 3 divisions, D1, D2, and D3, account for the varying degrees of competition and opportunity from one college to another. In addition, eligibility standards for scholarships and admissions vary according to the division of the athletics. Talking about Division I schools tend to be larger universities with competitive and really well-funded athletic programs. D1 schools have the most autonomy when it comes to recruitment, scholarships, and admissions. To qualify to play Division I sports, you must meet minimum course and GPA requirements in high school. There are 16 core courses, ones that you will likely take or have taken anyways because of your state's graduation requirements at high school. You must receive at least a 2.3 GPA in your core courses to be eligible for D1 athletics. Talking about Division II, D2 schools are usually mid-sized schools with decently funded athletics programs, and they're allowed to recruit some athletes and offer partial scholarships. The athletic eligibility standards for Division II schools are also slightly less stringent than D1 schools. There are still 16 required high school courses, but the courses are a bit more flexible. The GPA requirement is also slightly lower at 2.2. For Division III schools tend to be smaller, with an average undergrad enrollment of just about 1,700, and about 1 of every 6 students at a D3 school is an athlete, so it's a higher student-athlete ratio. Division III athletic play tends to be well-balanced with academics, as D3 schools minimize potential conflicts between athletics and classes and focus on regional, in-season, and conference play. Unlike D1 and D2 schools, the NCAA does not set eligibility requirements for D3 athletes, and there are no athletic scholarships offered for those athletes. Now, let's talk about the NAIA. Now that you know a little bit about the NCAA, let's talk a little bit about the other conference. The NAIA, or National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, is actually the oldest college athletics governing body. It's comprised of 65,000 student athletes at over 250 schools. The NAIA also offers more than $600 million in scholarships. The schools that are part of the NAIA tend to be mostly smaller, private colleges. In terms of athletic competitiveness, the top programs in the NAIA are comparable to Division II schools. The majority of NAIA schools, however, are comparable to NCAA D3 schools. NAIA schools may not seem as competitive as NCAA schools, but the competition level is on the rise. For more information on the NAIA, we recommend visiting their website at naia.org. And Felix, I hope that description helped answer your question. For our second question of today, Christopher submitted, compared to AP and IB courses, how do colleges weigh or consider dual enrollment courses? Well, Christopher, this is a great question. Let's start off with the basics, such as what are dual enrollment classes, to make sure everyone's on the same page. Dual enrollment is a program in which a student can earn college credit by taking college-level classes in high school. Though it differs by each state, dual credit classes will likely be offered via a partnership with your high school and a local community college in your city. Most of the time, you'll be able to take dual enrollment classes at either your high school or online. Sometimes, however, you may have to go actually to the local community college to sit for the course, in which case you may have to take time outside of school hours or miss some periods at your high school. To take dual enrollment classes, you're required to meet certain standards. Each state has a different set of requirements and guidelines, so you're going to need to check and see what the requirements are for where you live. Typically though, most states allow 10th through 12th graders, that's sophomores through seniors, with a 3.0 GPA or higher to enroll. Taking dual enrollment classes is beneficial for many reasons. For instance, dual credit courses are real college classes, so you get a sense of what real college coursework is like and what the structure of those classes is. In addition, the courses are a way to show colleges that you're capable of handling college-level coursework. Another benefit is that there is no tuition involved with taking dual credit courses at your school, And so it's really the cheapest way to actually gain college credit and maybe make it so you don't even have to attend undergrad for a full 4 years. Another benefit is that unlike AP classes, you don't have to take a test to earn college credit. While the exact weight or consideration given to dual enrollment classes does depend on which schools you're applying to, really anything that shows that you're capable of handling college level coursework is a boost to your admissions profile. That is, of course, if you actually do well in the classes. Before you commit to dual enrollment courses, just a couple of things to keep in mind. First, colleges do not universally accept dual enrollment courses, particularly for an out-of-state student. Secondly, dual credit courses are real college classes, and in many cases that means that they have the rigor and intensity of real college classes as well. You want to consider if it's too much to handle dual enrollment courses, plus your regular high school course load and your extracurricular commitments. For more information on dual enrollment and AP classes, visit our blog where we have many articles on those subjects. Our third question, submitted by Tony, is when do we apply for merit-based scholarship from a college? Once a person is accepted by a school, do we then apply? Do they let us know when acceptance is given? To start off, to answer this question, let's do a quick review of merit scholarships and what they are, how to think about them. Merit scholarships are awarded entirely based on merit, hence their name, not on your financial need. This means that the applicant's performance within a specific area is evaluated by the scholarship committee, and only the most outstanding applicants will receive scholarships, regardless of their financial standing. The merits upon which these scholarships are awarded could depend on a really wide variety of factors, such as your overall academic performance, test scores, teacher recommendations, standardized test scores, or performance and dedication within a certain field of study or in certain classes or in a certain activity. The majority of merit scholarships are awarded directly by colleges or universities. And so because of this, applicants are considered based on their college applications to those schools, and no additional application materials are needed. Sometimes, however, in order to be considered for a merit award, you will need to submit your applications by an earlier deadline or submit a supplemental essay in addition to your other application materials. So in that sense, there is a set of extra to-dos that you need to keep in mind. So to answer your question directly, Tony, it depends on the college. The majority of the time, it will be when your other application materials are due, but it's always a good idea to check the website in case that your merit scholarships require an early submission or another essay. Usually, if you do receive a merit scholarship, you will find out when you get your entire aid package for the school. Each school may differ in when they send out aid notification, so it's always best to double check on their website. For our last question of the day, the fourth one, Aparna asks, how does the recommendation letter work for homeschooled students? This is actually a very interesting question. We talk a lot about recommendations in our various videos, but we haven't really discussed how to ask for recommendation letters if you are a homeschooled student. And thanks for asking this question because it's a case that applies to more students than you would think. Chances are your instructors are one or both of your parents or a friend's parents, and while they do serve as your teachers, of course, you cannot ask a family member for a letter of recommendation. Might be some bias there. Instead, you need to find another credible adult with intimate knowledge of your academic and extracurricular accomplishments, as well as a deep understanding of your personality and your motivations. Those are the people that need to write your recommendations. To avoid scrambling at the last minute to find one of those recommenders, it's important to begin thinking about who to ask early on, probably in your junior year of high school. If you're involved in a club sports team, a homeschool academic team, or any other extracurricular activity, maybe a summer program, maybe you volunteer for a nonprofit, leaders of those activities can be great recommenders. Because you might not see them as often as you see your teachers, it's very important to provide those recommenders with your resume, which should include a list of all of the other activities and all of your academic interests and information. Remember that it's important to make sure that your recommenders can offer unique perspectives on who you are. For example, don't have two recommendations from sports coaches, your soccer and your lacrosse coach. You wanted them to be different, and you want to have the recommenders spotlight your extracurricular and your academic accomplishments. So a good variety would be a swim coach and a tutor in a specific subject. As always, get the request for recommendations out early. Unlike teachers, these recommenders may not be as used to writing recommendation letters, and so it's important to give them even more extra time in case it takes them longer than expected, or they have questions and there's a whole back and forth that you need to go through. Thank you to the 4 of you who submitted the questions for this week. Hopefully those answers provided some helpful advice. If you have a question that you want us to answer next week or in a future week, remember to submit your questions for the next video in the comments below. And don't forget that if you're looking for free guidance on your essays, your college applications, and much more, you can visit us online at app.collegevine.com and sign up for a free account. If we don't see you then, we will see you here for our next Q&A.